Welcome to the Upshot, Ultra-World Disc Golf's podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. I'm the editor, Charlie Eisenhood. Joining me is Josh Mansfield. It is Wednesday, March 11th. The show might come out Thursday, but it might come out today, so we're going to just tag it with Wednesday. That's when we're recording. And we are just 2 days away from the start of the Big Easy Open. It is the first brand new tournament on tour this season, and it's going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana, just outside, technically, in Jefferson Parish. And we're playing some swamp disc golf this week. Josh, we got a lot to get to, including an interview with Silas Schultz. But as we often do, we got to talk about some sports stuff that's not in the disc golf universe.
We do. This is international sports.
Very important. Olympics are done.
Yep.
But World Baseball Classic is happening now. What do you want to discuss here, Josh?
Yeah. So, Charlie, you know how we rant about pros not checking scores and making bad on-course the decisions because they don't know what the scores are?
Yes.
Well, great. Welcome to USA Baseball.
Oh, no.
I want to introduce you to Mark DeRosa, the manager for Team USA. Prior to yesterday's game against Italy, let me preface this. The U.S. is like clear favorites in this tournament.
Well, maybe the Dominican, but
maybe you're right. You're right.
It's close. They're co-favorites. Let's say
co-favorites. But the level between like the top and the rest is there's a vast gap, including the rest being among Italy. Mark DeRosa, prior to the game, says like, listen, we're really grateful for this opportunity. We're excited to be playing, even though we've got our quarterfinals ticket punched. Like, we're still going to go out and, we'd still like to win this game. Kind of leads very clear, like looking like they're playing a game that doesn't matter, right? Italy goes up, I think 8-0 by the fifth inning.
It was 8-0. That's right.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was pretty early on too, and then the U.S. all of a sudden just like starts storming back and gets up to ends up losing 8-6. Turns out the U.S. has not clinched their quarterfinal spot, and Mark DeRosa didn't know it.
Oh no.
So Mexico and Italy have to play still. U.S. is done with their pool play. Mexico and Italy have to play. If Mexico wins in a game where the score is 4-3 or lower, so Mexico can't score more than 5 runs. Now, for USA's purposes, if Mexico scores 4 runs or lower and wins, Mexico and Italy will advance on runs allowed tiebreaker. If Italy wins, U.S. is in. If Mexico blows them out or makes it a high-scoring game, Mexico-U.S. advance. And either way, it's okay. But Mexico 4 runs or less win, U.S. is out. And Mark DeRosa makes one of the biggest fumbles.
What an epic blunder this would be if it ends up working out that way. It's really interesting because Mexico's incentive is just to win. If they win, they're in.
Right.
But, like, do they in the back of their minds think, like, if we're up 4-1 and it's the 6th inning, do we maybe, like, ground to double plays? Like,
you would rather have Italy.
You might want to try to knock the U.S. out of the bracket, right?
You would rather have Italy in the bracket.
If your goal is to win the tournament.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting situation. And, I mean, Josh, how is it even possible that they ended up in the spot where they thought that the game didn't matter? This goes beyond not checking scores.
I don't know, man.
It goes way beyond not checking scores.
The MLB has removed Mark DeRosa's interview from their website and made the video private as well. So, like, the MLB is like just trying to bury this as well.
Oh my God!
It is clown behavior.
What an embarrassment! All right, well, we'll see if the U.S. gets a lifeline. That game is at 7 p.m. Wednesday, so Eastern time. I might watch.
I'm gonna flip it on.
All right. We got much to do. We're going to talk with Louisiana native Silas Schultz about this course, this tournament, playing at home, his bag switch, starting over with MVP, and a bunch more. So stay with us. After that, of course, we'll have our picks, talk a little bit more about the tournament, and we will also do some 30-second rule to catch you up on some news. Stay with us. It's the Upshot. Silas joins us next. Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. Well, all stock Rufus bags are in stock and shipping now. Check out all of the colorway options of the stock Rufus bag. Or if you don't like what you see, you can always make your own perfectly customized version with their custom pack builder. And you can customize every single element of the bag and get exactly the bag of your dreams. But if you just want something stock, you want to save a little money, head over to pounddiscgolf.com, grab yourself a stock Rufus today. It's the bag I carry out on the course, and I love it. And they've got great guarantees to keep your bag in tip-top shape for its entire life, which will be the rest of yours. Go to pounddiscgolf.com. Joining us now on the Upshot is Silas Schultz. He is newly of Team MVP, one of the big stories of the offseason, and we are heading to New Orleans this week. Silas, you're from Louisiana. It must feel kind of cool to be playing at home, quote unquote, for the first time on tour.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Like, we as a state have only held 2 A tiers in the history of the state.
Wow.
In Louisiana. And when I grew up, we had the Southern Nationals, which is a tour or a sanction that was created by Mattio's dad, which was just the PDGA, except you didn't have to wear a shirt and you could smoke and drink as much as you wanted during your rounds. And so we were like ops with the PDGA for a while. It was looked down upon if you had a membership, because no one in our area played PDGA events. So my PDGA number could be so much lower than it is, but it's just crazy to think that we came from that time to now we're hosting a full-on elite series.
I think the Pro Tour should adopt Southern Nationals rules for this event only.
I think there'd be a lot of people who are in favor
Dude
of
just
that.
ripping vapes on the course. Wow, only 2 A tiers ever. I mean, it must be kind of crazy for you to see all of this come together then. It feels like it's happened kind of fast. I first heard about this tournament maybe coming into existence it's sometime in the middle of last year. Mm-hmm. And then I asked Jeff Spring about it, and he was like, no. That's not guaranteed. And then of course here we are, and it's happening. So, obviously Jefferson Parish has put a lot of money into this, and they've taken this course that already existed and have really beefed it up, particularly for MPO. So, just on that topic, can you give us a sense of is this course and is the area ready for a Pro Tour after only hosting 2 A tiers?
I would say it's definitely ready. I would say the area, we have a very rich disc golf culture down here. And I would say here, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and then Alabama and Mississippi, everybody I think is going to show out for this event, as far as spectators go. And then the backing of the Jefferson Parish has been insane. It was spared no expense putting this in and making John's dreams come true. It's insane. I heard that they made a pond. He was like, we want a pond. And they just made a pond. And then the pond was in the wrong spot. So they moved the pond. That was the kind of way that they were operating. It was not well, sorry, we made this pond. It was just all right, we can move the pond to where you want. And so it's been so cool to see that. And so is the course ready? I would say it's maybe a little too ready, honestly. It's super hard, but I think it'll evolve over time, but I think it's ready.
I'll ask about course stuff in a minute, but to your point about Jefferson Parish, the amount of support that they've put in, I think, has made disc golfers everywhere a little bit envious. Is this common among the disc golf scene in Louisiana? Is there this kind of push for that growth? I guess were you as surprised as we were, or were you no, this is how we do it down here?
No, definitely the first. I don't think I was saying this is how we operate. I mean, we have I'm from Baton Rouge, born and raised there, which is about an hour north or hour west of New Orleans. And like we don't technically have like a course in Baton Rouge. We kind of have one, Highland Road Park, but then they split off and became St. George Parish, and so that's not even Baton Rouge anymore. And then we have a couple outside of town because like it's so hard working with the Parks Department to get anything to happen. So like I have 3 playable courses within 30 minutes of me. So like in New Orleans, that's also kind of not the case. Like they have a couple courses, you know? So to see this was just insane. And I think I was on the same page as Charlie, where I was hearing about it, and I know the TD. I'm pretty close with him, and he's telling me about all this, and I'm still like, bro, I don't think this is gonna happen. You know, like there's no way this is actually gonna happen. And I think Charlie heard about it, texted me, and he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Bro, I heard too, but like, I don't know. It's disc golf rumors. Like, the thing about disc golf rumors, they're low key always true, but like."
That's true.
Sometimes
It's so
like,
true.
it takes like if you heard an off-season rumor, it's probably true. Like they're probably going there. You know what I mean? But yeah, so it's I didn't necessarily see it coming. This is pretty out of the norm, and I think everyone's feeling very blessed for what Jefferson Parish is doing.
All right, so they had the Monday qualifier. Logan
This is
Blake
crazy.
shoots a 4 over, 1019 rated. Okay, we could pump the brakes a little bit because there's 8 players. Maybe we're not going to see that score be 1019 rated in the tournament. But
Right. Yeah.
clearly, it's really hard. And like watching
Yeah.
practice rounds, it's a lot of like not really sure what to do on this hole. Gonna have to try to throw it way around here on an Anheuser and then pray that I can get to circle 2. Is that the experience that you've had playing the course so far? And like, where are you seeing this course in terms of difficulty factor on tour? And then maybe what do you think we're going to see for hot rounds?
Yeah, those are great questions. Number one, I want to give a shout out to my boy Micah in the Monday qualifier. He got 2 birdies. So shout out to Micah. He ended up getting 3rd and not getting the spot. There was a total of 3 birdies carded out of the 8 people who played the Monday qualifier.
That is correct.
1 from Logan
correct.
on hole 1, and then 2 from my boy Micah. So
I feel like
think
Micah should automatically get a spot for getting more birdies than everyone else.
I agree. He got more birdies than almost everybody, more than everyone else combined. That's
right.
That you should get a spot. So when I played my practice round with Eagle yesterday, I didn't count any bogey strokes. I just tried to see how many birdies I could get, and I think I got 4. And I felt pretty good about that, So yes, in terms of difficulty, this has got to be like the hardest course. It's
Straight up the hardest.
I mean, to score, yes. Hardest to score. It's a really interesting course. It's created a lot of waves and talks amongst the pros and everybody else about, is it good? A lot of people are probably not saying yes to that. John's design or idea for the design was 2 great shots gets you to circle 2. I think he did a good job of that, but I don't know if that's a great course necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these holes are very tough to birdie. A lot of them are very manageable to par. So I don't know what the scoring spread is going to be there. Now, it's a lot of tight lines, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities to scramble because there are some like pretty big highways to throw on the par 4s and 5s. So I don't know. My experience has been very tough to birdie, but I think everyone's sort of figuring it out. The initial reaction was similar to Ivy Hill. When it first got put in, everyone was like, this is crazy. I hate this place. These holes are dumb. And then it was like, oh, I have to play 3 holes for par. All right, that's fine. I can do that. It's not that crazy. I feel like it's similar to that where everyone's like, this is insane. I can't do this. This is the worst course I ever played. And then it's like, okay, like I can play for par on a bunch of holes. I can get, 5 or 6 birdies and then try to limit my bogey strokes. It's going to be, a premium on gap hitting. And I'm going to have to just play smart, And so I think it's a whole new style of golf in that way where it's not just scoring heavy like we've seen. And the old course on this property was very scoring heavy, So this is pretty counter to what John usually designs, it feels like, but it's cool. You know, I think a lot of people are not enjoying it as much, but there's also a lot of wildlife and snakes. They saw like a 5.5 foot super rattlesnake out there yesterday that even Jake Hebenheimer was not willing to approach. You know, like he
he's the snake guy, right?
Yeah, he was freaking out. He was so happy, but he was like, I'm not picking that up. I'm not that dumb. But he cleared a water moccasin from someone's van, I heard, you know what I mean? And you see, I went out there yesterday, 2 days ago, to get like 9 holes in before the sun went down. And my snap from my drive on hole 2 scared a snake from the next to the tee box into the woods, which is kind of a weird experience. But yeah, there's a lot of snakes. There's a lot. So I think the course is going to play interesting as far as like hot rounds go. It's so hard to predict hot rounds on courses we've never seen because everyone's goated. Like somebody could shoot a 9 maybe, you know? I don't know. But also like
9 would be crazy.
Maybe 3 5s win, you know, that might do it for you. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to see like I don't know. 9 is probably high. But then I don't want to hold it, you know.
I know. I mean, we've done this before. Trust me. Josh and I have done this many times. No way anybody shoots double digits. Okay,
no way. Well, and a funny thing about the course was, so I played on the old design at the PDF course, which was very scoreable. They had 3 sets of tees, the blues being the hardest, and I shot a 14 in a tournament with a bogey on the blues. And John like really didn't like that. He like took kind of some offense to that. And so then I went out and kind of like, I was walking with him before the tee boxes were all in. There was no baskets in. And I'm looking at these holes and I'm like telling him like, yo, John, these are so hard. And he just kept going, no 14 downs though, right? No 14 down. I'm like, John, I don't know. I mean, yeah, but like, I might not shoot any. It might be no 4 downs. Like, you know, it's like, but yeah, I think he really executed what he wanted. I just don't know if what he wanted is what anybody else is looking for. But I also think like the property as it is with like adjustments, like hole 18 needs some help. Hole 13 is a little unreasonable. But I think with some lumberjacking,
yes,
all of these holes can be very good.
This is exactly when I've watched practice rounds, it has been like, this is the first draft of a hole. They need to cut down 1 or 2 of these trees. And like next year, it'll be in a pretty good spot. And I get it because it's like, you don't want to cut down too many trees too soon. But this is why I think we need to have courses go through an A tier or something prior to being put onto the Pro Tour in order for these kinds of adjustments to get made. And I think we're going to kind of see that it feels like a little bit of an incomplete course for MPO. I actually think the FPO layout's probably going to be like almost amazing. Like it might be perfect because it's already been in place and they didn't have to make a ton of changes. They added some water features and stuff, but like pretty much the course was already built for an FPO level, rating. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm a little worried about it being a little bit of a slog, like feeling a little bit like a slog because there's so many par 5s and like it's going to be, I mean, the course is flat and samey. So, is there the differentiation in holes? Is it going to just feel like people are like having to throw tons of like really high difficulty shots without a lot of scoring? It can often feel like a little bit of a plodding pace. So I guess we'll see if somebody can get hot and make circle 2 putts because that's what feels like what it's going to come down to.
One point of reference: the blue tees that Silas you were describing that you shot the 14 down on UDisc is 8,400 feet. John has made this one 12,400 feet.
So long, like crazy far.
Yeah, it's insane.
You described players going onto certain holes and saying, listen, like 3 holes in a row, I'm going to need to play for par. Do you think generally the field as a whole is going to agree on like, oh yeah, we play for birdie on these 6 holes, the rest we play for par? Or do you think different styles of game are going to, and tolerances for risk, are going to have players picking different holes in their game plan?
I would say a little bit of both.
Okay.
Like hole one is a good example where like I've heard guys say like I'm not really attacking this, like it's not super worth it. Hole one, me and John kind of fought over that tee box position a little bit. I wanted to put it near the water so that you have to shoot over a swamp on hole one of the Big Easy Open. I'm like, that's kind of fire, you know? He wanted to get, like, that's the coolest thing we could do as a first tournament in Louisiana. Your first drive in the Pro Tour Louisiana is you punch over a gator infested swamp. That's fire. But he gave the option of the big Anheuser. So a lot of people will just throw this big Anheuser because I'm not throwing my disc in a swamp and I'm not hitting the gap on hole one. This is Pro Tour, guys. We don't do that. All right. So like you throw a big Anheuser, you get to a landing zone, you throw over 2 more swamps. You can pitch if you want. So there will be people who do that. But there's definitely guys who are going for that. So I think that's like a good example. But then also you have holes like hole 13, and I think it's the one with the pond behind the basket and the one where you shoot over the pond on your first or second shot. Those are, I think it's 13 and 14 maybe. Like on 13 you can't play for birdie. Like I don't know how. Like it's a par 5. Like you can't. Like I laced it and ripped and I'm 80 away. And so like I don't think. Like there's holes that restrict people to like par's your best shot. And then there's other holes like the next one where if you want to throw a 500-foot laser beam tunnel shot over some water, you could get a birdie. But like, I don't know who wants to do that necessarily or who can do that. Like, I don't think I'm not attempting that. I'm pitching and then launching and then pitching. So I think it kind of depends. I think people will be going there's a decent amount of par 5s, and I think people will be going for those. Some of the par 4s though are just like, I don't know. They're pretty restricting, or maybe there's guys who will go for it or not. But I think the strengths that are rewarded are like distance and gap hitting, and then gap hitting with a distance driver, throwing it about as hard as you can. So like if just depends on where you're at in your expertise of those things that I think makes it your decisions.
All right. Well, there's lots of other stuff going on this week. They've got like, I don't know, they're doing like a gumbo thing, or there's swamp boat tours. Like, have you been showing your friends around in the area, and like, are you excited for all of this extra stuff about like being in Louisiana?
Yeah, I'm super excited for all of that. I think there's like a crawfish boil after the Pro-Am today. So I think I'm going to try to get in on that. People keep asking me like, yo, what should I do in New Orleans? And it's like, I'm like, like I'm not from New Orleans. You know what I mean? I've lived here a little bit when I was a child. Like I could tell you some like good food spots, maybe, they got a great World War II museum. The aquarium is fire, the zoo. But like, I mean, I guess just go to Bourbon Street if that's what you're into. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't.
Frenchman Street. That's the spot.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Bourbon's for it depends on your vibes. But like, my brother went to college in New Orleans. Frenchman Street is college? Like, it's Loyola.
Oh, okay, cool.
I had to remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like still fairly touristy, but it's not like drunk boomers. It's like more music, and it's a cooler scene. So that's if the pros are looking for something to do.
Yeah, I think like I have I'm hosting a Bible study at Cafe Du Monde today. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't find another spot, and I was like, this would be cool. If worst comes to worst, I don't know. We're all gonna have beignets, and that's gonna make it a great morning. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
That's kind of the vibes. I mean, I got this place Moe's Pizza that I'm trying to go to, and a couple other spots. But I honestly like my friends who don't play disc golf think my life is so cool because I travel all the time. But like I don't do too much when I'm traveling. Like it's tournament week, so it's like I play the course, I come home. I'm in walking distance of a Trader Joe's. That's pretty exciting. You know what I mean? So I eat a lot of Trader Joe's food, but like it's, I'm not, going out. I know they had some, the swamp boat tours looked super cool. And then, but I also like, if I want to see an alligator, like I'm back home, I'll just canoe in Alligator Alley and I'll see some alligators. You know what I mean? So like, I'm a little desensitized to some of it. Plus I'm getting my full, I don't know, limit of wildlife with all the snakes on the course too. And there's some alligators on the course as well. So it's like, I don't need to go on a swamp boat to see the stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm showing them a little bit. They booked this Airbnb and it's in like the heart of New Orleans. Like we're walking distance from the Superdome right now. So everyone's a little on edge just because of maybe the danger or whatever. But we are getting the full experience in that way where we don't feel super safe about our cars being outside, but like they're good. And you like get off the porch, and I had like a fun conversation with like a 75-year-old man yesterday, that kind of stuff. Evan Smith says he feels safe, but he doesn't have his car here. That's why he feels safe. So yeah. But like I don't feel unsafe, you know what I mean? But it is we're getting the full experience, I'll say.
So you are playing with brand new discs. What has this transition been like for you? Getting into the MVP universe, and everything that goes along with that. It's like there's expectations about media, perhaps, and all the other things that go along with having a sponsor. And you also got a deal in an off season where there were not necessarily lots of deals to go around. So how has that been so far, both from sort of like the off-course stuff and then also playing your first tournament 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I'll say off-course stuff, like it's been incredible, like better than I probably could have imagined. And they pitched pretty hard, my managers, and like just to kind of get me on board with the idea. And I mean, once I had, it didn't take honestly that much convincing because the money was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, yeah, this is something I want to do. But like just the trajectory that MVP is on right now is incredible. And there's not another fan base like it in disc golf. Like I went to Disc South and Disc East, the two expos, and I'm having people like all day long come and welcome me to the team. And they're not on the team, but they're welcoming me to the team because they're MVP. You know what I mean? MVP is a group of people. It's not like the discs. You know what I mean? So it's been like so cool in that regard. Like my YouTube numbers have shot up. My Instagram numbers have shot up. All I have to do is like, hey, I'm reviewing MVP's putters, and it's like 30,000 views. And I'm like, whoa, So it's that part's been super cool. And then MVP has been awesome to work with. Like just, I haven't been taken care of like this before. Like they just will fly you out to Disc East. We'll pay for your stuff. We'll buy your Nike shirts and print them up for you and bring them to you. Like just like above and beyond on everything. So that part's been great. The plastic has been super fun to get to know. Me and my dogs in my bag, like we're getting very acclimated to each other. I thought that there wouldn't really be a learning curve. I was like, I know people say that stuff. I feel good, like I'm playing, 8 down practice rounds at Supreme Flight, keeping it nice and under par every practice round. I'm playing, pressure and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be good. And then I got to the tournament and I'm like, this is so much harder than I thought it was going to be. Cause like you just, somebody was asking me like, is it like you get in a spot and you don't have a disc to use for it? And it's like the opposite of that, where I get in a spot and I could throw 4 different discs and I don't know which one's my favorite or which one I want to trust the most, because I just haven't used them. And really, I got kind of nerfed because I was going to play 2 A-tiers before starting the season. And then like I got stuck in Boston in snowpocalypse. So then I dropped out of the first one. And then when I came home for that week and just practiced, my family gave me the flu and then I almost died. And so then I was like, couldn't play the next one. So then like I didn't want that to be my first event. I wanted a little bit of time, but that's just not how it worked out. So it's been good. Like I think I just learned my disc the best I can. I, game plan the best I can. And then, I find myself in the situations and we're going to figure it out from there. So I think it's getting better. And I'm starting to trust my dogs a little bit more than I could before. Because it's really like I can only trust them as much as the experiences that I've seen them in. You know what I mean? And that's just limited at this point. Like my bag before had discs in there for 3+ years. You know what I mean? And so I'd see them in every amount of power, every amount of wind, how they would react. And I'm just not at that level yet, which is okay. And so, but I feel like there has been certain parts of my game that have instantly kind of leveled up, like the sidearm approach game with the tempo and even be able to sidearm the mid ranges, which I couldn't do before with my other mids. They just go farther, they go straighter, they're more controllable. It's just a shot, I didn't have before. So stuff like that has leveled up. I'm putting with Atoms, which are like a lot faster than my old putters, which has been an adjustment from like in the circle and circle's edge. But now I'll just randomly hit like an 80 or 90 footer. Just like, they're just so fast. They just get there. Like I'm missing high from like 60 all the time. And I'm like, okay, like this is going to be cool. Maybe I'll just be, sniper. But so there's been parts that are going up, parts that are kind of going down, but I feel like it's all leveling out. And I think like, midway through the season, I'm excited to see like what I'm able to be doing with the stuff that I have. But I think MVP is in a cool spot now too, where like they're still coming out with more discs. We have Simon and Eagle who are designing stuff. And I think like, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have discs that were made recently. Like I have the engine, which is the new driver from Streamline, that's Eagles. And like, it would be tough because I would be having to find like good runs of certain different discs. And these are just like good out the box. And so stuff like that, the Boca I was really loving, which has come out recently, the Boost, things like that. So it's been super cool and I'm excited. I don't think there's like extra pressure for like media and stuff like that. It's kind of just been like, I've been on 2 practice rounds and it's just a lot of support, I guess. So they're just encouraging me to make as much stuff as I want to, I guess. And at this point I have more stuff to make videos about because it's all new.
You talked about like the beginning of that discussion with them, there was pretty high interest. How did it start? Did they just call you up or were you shopping around?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always shopping around, in the off season. Like it's, I had, a lot of outside looking in, a lot of brand loyalty to Discmania, but also, I'm looking at my options. Obviously, I'm not just like accepting a deal and not seeing what else there. So I had a couple of offers, and MVP was one day. They're in communications with my managers, and one of my managers, he also represents Eagle, and he was just explaining to me what Eagle had said about how much he loves the company and how long he wants to stay there and how well he's treated. And he's like, this is an upward trajectory that this company is on. And I think now is a great time to be a part of that. And, I just wasn't super familiar with their game. You know what I mean? Like Bam Adebayo just dropped 83. I knew Bam Adebayo. What was that though?
That was crazy.
We need refs interrogated, investigated. 40 free throws is too many. Anyway, but sorry, I had to get that off my chest. But so it was like, in talks with my managers. And then the first time that I sat down with Andrew, who's like our main guy who handles all of our team stuff and everything, it was just like the overwhelming amount of interest that they had for me was something I hadn't experienced before. They were like, we want Silas, we want you for you. And we're willing to pay to have you on our team. And that was just like, yeah, this is awesome. This is where I want to be at.
So how does the bag change like reset your expectations for what you want to do competitively? Like, are you just like, I want to just be as good as possible immediately. Like I believe I can win. Or do you have to say to yourself like, oh no, like it is going to take time, especially after having played this event and kind of been in those spots where you have to make a choice about which disc to use. Do you give yourself a few months to kind of settle in?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a balance. I try to stay away from expectations as much as possible. And I try to be very process oriented. So like, I'm kind of trying to understand like that this is a process, that this will take time, that I'm going to drop some strokes that I wouldn't have dropped if I had a bag that I was more comfortable with. However, like, do I want to win this week? Yes, so bad. Like I want to win this so bad. But, I understand that there will be a process. So I think the way that I'm approaching it more is just like, in my preparation, in my play, I'm really just game planning like it's not an issue. Like it doesn't really affect it. I'm playing with my dogs. I'm throwing them. I'm trusting them. And then when I find myself on the course and I throw a shot that I like, and the disc reacts a little differently than I predicted, we just got to charge it to the game and move on. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be what it's going to be, you know, and those understanding that like those things may happen. Those things may not happen, you know, but we're just going to kind of roll with it as it comes and just understand that in those moments, like, I think one problem I had in Florida was that was like a big point of frustration for me, that kind of like I'm throwing the shots I want and they're not landing where I think they will. And now I'm not getting birdies. And now, you know, and it's like, there was a moment of like chill out a little bit. Like, this is the first tournament. This is your second round with this disc, first round with these discs. There will be a little bit of a process here, but I continue to fight and, you know, play my best golf as well as I can. And so as far as like, you know, the goals and everything, like, I have a genuine belief that, you know, late in the year, we're going to be doing some great things. You know what I mean? And so like, if it takes a while to get there, that's okay. But also might as well try to win this week as well. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the process that I'm thinking.
You think they need to make the tee pad on one a little bigger? Maybe not quite enough room.
I think the one on 18 is larger than the one on hole 1. You can actually, it looks like you can land a spaceship on that hole. That's what it looks like it's for.
Space shuttle launch pad.
Just lands right there, and then, you know. Yeah. I was texting John about a couple of course critiques and stuff, because I played it on Thursday without baskets, and he was asking me, and I was voicing a couple of this hole, this. And then he was just like, what about them tee pads though? I was like, I mean, yeah, good tee pads. You know, they're honestly, I think a couple of, and Pro Tour players will complain about everything. Like, they put all this 88 acres of ryegrass out there. It's all lush and green and beautiful. And everyone's like, oh, we can't find our discs. Like, the grass is too thick. You land, you can't, unless you're standing right next to it, you can't see your disc. Or I'm slipping in the fairways, or my rollers don't work. You know, it's like, but also a couple of people have mentioned this, and I felt it, where like, the tee boxes are different sizes. Some of them are huge. Some of them are normal. Some of them have the paint. Sometimes I've heard, and I don't know this for sure, but the red box might be a different size on a couple of them. And so it does kind of, you have to be very conscious of where you're stepping. The red box is a different
size. Oh no.
That's what I heard. That could be wrong. But also, like, I have a large run up, so I'm always kind of stepping off the back of the box and stepping onto it to start. And like, I just keep shanking right, because my last step gets so big because I'm trying to fill out the tee box and I'm so far away from the end, and then I just pull it right. So you do have to like watch yourself, because you know it's hard to get in a rhythm and your exact timing. You have to know exactly how many steps back, which we're athletes, we should be able to handle that. But it is like an interesting point.
Very interesting. All right, let's see. This is a really, really quick thing. You still have beef with Drew Gibson, or are we done?
No, I don't think so. No, okay. That is in the past. We're changing our brand. You know what I mean?
Whole new you in 2026.
No more songs. No more diss tracks. Maybe songs. No more diss tracks. I forgot how much you guys appreciated that whole exchange. Like,
we both have discs. We still have our disc track discs.
Yeah, mine's on the wall right here. Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, Silas, have fun playing in Louisiana this week, and we'll certainly be watching along and see what if anybody can shoot a 10 down. I'm voting against it. Josh, what's the over-under? I think let's have Silas do the over-under with Josh. Over-under best score of the weekend, 7.5.
Okay, that's for the round.
So as in
round.
over would be an 8 down or better.
Right.
For a round, yeah, for a round.
It's so hard because we've never seen it played.
Right.
A couple of the practice rounds I've seen, you know, there's a couple guys probably getting under par, you know, but it's but it's like, it's so hard to bet against, because no one would have said that Ezra shoots a 14 at the Monster. No one would have said that.
I will always take the over. I will never take an under.
Like, it feels almost disrespectful to even myself to take the under, you know, because I'm liable to shoot a 9, right? Like, I don't know. So
I think I remember distinctly one time OTB Swenson Park. Charlie goes, "There's no way anybody is shooting over a 9." Eagle ripped a 13 round 1.
That was
and it
crazy.
was like
that was
done. There, wrap it up. Like that's the bet. So,
and I think one of the things to note here is there's like no OB except for little swamps. So like there's bogey strokes that you can scramble out of that would kind of eat some of those birdies. So I think that people can play it a little cleaner because of that. There's courses that have more out of bounds where like you can't help but throw OB, 3 times maybe, even on a good round. And those are going to, those strokes are going to catch up to you. Out here, like, I think the lack of OB might give somebody that 8 down. So I'm going to take the over.
Okay.
And
Josh,
I'll
let you take the over too. I'll take the under.
All right.
You'll shoot it. Okay, there we go.
I'll shoot it just to prove, that I believed in myself, I guess.
Okay, last question. Do you think the challenge level of this course favors a random outcome, like a surprise winner, or that it's going to like be Gannon, Burr, and similar like top level players who have the advantage because of the length and challenge?
Right. That is a good question. I don't know exactly. I mean, it's always hard to predict Gannon playing poorly. Like that's it's hard to say that like, oh yeah, I could see Joey Buckets playing well out here, but it's hard for me to say like, yeah, he's got Gannon this week.
Fair.
But I think it leans itself to power, like a lot of power, mixed with accuracy. John posted a video on Instagram talking about the points of success. Number 1, power. Number 2, accuracy. Number 3, C2 putting. And number 4 was scrambling. And I was like, holy heavens. Like what about, I don't know. So I think like with those keys in mind, it feels like it's going to take a smart golfer who's not getting upset about the course. You know what I mean? Because I think you can lose heart. And once you lose heart and you get mad at the course beats you up. And I think it's going to take an accurate golfer who's throwing far and making C2s. So that feels like a really good player. So I think it might lend itself to some of those higher ranked or rated guys. But also I could, there's so much unknowns because we haven't seen anybody play it yet. So it's hard to know whose style. Honestly, if it picked a style, I feel like my style works because I love ripping through gaps. But I'm not like a C2 goat either. So I don't know. But it's going to take a special kind of player. And that special kind of player is probably 1061 rated. I don't know.
Who could that be? All right. Well, good luck this week. We'll be watching and have a great 2026 season.
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks, Silas. Silas Schultz with us on the Upshot. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Upshot. Thanks again to Silas for joining us on a busy week for him in New Orleans. So, Josh, this is going to be an interesting tournament. All of the people who are like, make disc golf harder, well, you got your wish.
Yes, you did.
Are you happy? We're going to find out because this is going to be it's going to be a tough one. I mean, we've talked about the distance of this course, well over 12,000 feet. I think it will come in as the longest course on tour this year. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind that it's really more about like distance divided by par, because with lots of par fives comes longer course, of course.
Right.
But it is going to be a difficult slog of a course, and I don't think we're going to see lots of big birdie streaks. And it could be very interesting down the stretch to see who is able to, tackle this challenge. But I don't think this is going to be a popcorn disc golf.
No.
An MPO at least.
Yeah, definitely not. And I don't know if we've ever really hit an MPO in the professional scene like hit up against the ceiling of, oh yeah, that is how hard we want a course to be, no harder. And so it might if this course comes in and we're like, dang, this course is like too hard, John, you went too far, man. Like we gotta tone it back for next year. I think that is insightful to hit that ceiling. I think there is some value in that for the sport. I will be disappointed, I won't lie, because I have been very jazzed for this event. And if it ends up being a slog that isn't fun to watch, I'm going to be very sad. But I'm always excited to see new courses. I thought it was really interesting that Silas was talking about how some pros are struggling with the bigger tee pads. And I guess that makes sense in terms of like muscle memory, getting used to it. But it's funny that they're like, oh, here's more space for you. And the pros are like, I don't know what to do with all this space. And so they don't like it.
Here's my thoughts on the tee pads. Having seen them, the painted lines thing it can't be the solution.
Okay.
My thought is give a big tee pad. I actually think it's a great idea.
Yep.
But the actual physical tee pad where you have to throw from should be like turf.
Oh.
Because concrete is what's your favorite tee pad surface, Josh? Concrete has its own challenges when it gets wet. That's
true. That is true. I will say though, dry, I like brushed concrete tee pads might be my favorite.
It's great.
Yeah.
If you want to use colored concrete and you have like a colored rectangle for the actual tee pad area, and the rest is just standard gray.
Okay.
That would be fine with me.
Good. Yep.
But I think those like X-Step whatever pro ones, and you put that flush with the concrete in the middle, that would both look great and serve the purpose of having like a safe flat tee area, which is a good thing, right? Like it's a good idea to allow for players to have room to make different styles of shots that are not just like I am on the tee pad and I throw in one direction, because they do want to throw at an angle or have a follow through space, and you don't want people falling off the edge and like breaking their ankle off the front.
Right.
So like conceptually the idea of a bigger tee pad is good, but all of the lines and like just trying to draw a box instead of having like a clearly differentiated area for where you have to throw from is not it for me.
Okay. That's interesting. I'm curious to see how it goes when we're watching like Pro Tour coverage, because I think part of the point that John mentioned that I thought was interesting is that gives us, you could throw the drone up top and watch the different angles that players choose to take and using those lines as reference points. I kind of love that idea. Like that's the kind of thing I'm asking for in disc golf, right? I want to see landing zones and percentage of birdies from where discs are. I want to see angles of attack for different lines. And when pros are birdieing a course regularly, seeing like, oh, look, they take a steeper angle of attack at the tee in order to execute that shot. That's the kind of thing that I think pushes the broadcast and the game further. But it's got to work, and so we'll see. I conceptually love the idea. I'm going to be interested to see how it plays out in practice.
It's going to be a course where you can genuinely get excited about birdies.
Yeah,
birdie is not a standard outcome, and that is a different kind of thing for disc golf.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I don't believe we've seen an FPO practice round pop up yet on YouTube, but this course was built essentially at like the FPO skill level in their original like build of this course, but Parc des Familles. So I think the FPO could be really good. I think it's going to be like already really well tuned, kind of established lines, and I think we could have a very exciting FPO week that will be more scoring heavy. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'll say it right now. The FPO winner will have a further under par score than the MPO winner. Wow. I don't even think that's that bold to take, to be honest.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, I am going off faith a little bit here that the FPO track is going to be well tuned, but I think it is.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. I think it's happened like once before in recent memory. But
yeah, I remember it happening or like they have the same score, but it's quite rare.
It's quite rare. Yeah, gonna be interesting to see if that's the case.
So yeah, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one.
Charlie, I'm so sorry if you are going to be commentating for just 10 hours a day.
Well, I'm going to be commentating for 10 hours a day. Well, not 10, but like, it's going to be long. It's going to be long shows. That's guaranteed. Yeah. With a 12,000 plus foot course, it's going to be long shows.
It's going to be long shows.
I think the goal is going to hopefully be to try to keep the energy up as much as possible when birdies and like whip around like 6 shots is maybe not going to be on the menu as much, because it's just a little bit more of like course management.
Yeah.
But you know, when the great shots come, they're going to feel special.
That's true. I will say I'm really glad you got Brian on the call with you. I think this is going to be like Brian's ability to talk about the game is near the top of anybody when it comes to color commentating. And so I think his ability to dissect courses here is going to offer important both context, but also like honest entertainment value, given that the golf might be lacking in that department.
We shall see. It's going to be, we're all in it together. And the other thing is, pros will often be like, oh my gosh. I mean, Silas basically said this. Oh, it's so hard. But then when we actually get around to the tournament, it's like people have figured it out. They played a couple practice rounds. Somebody cracks a hole with a certain line, and then everybody throws that line.
Yep.
You know, like John was saying it in the interview with us last week. It's like you have to respect the skill that these players have, and that's why this course looks as hard as it does.
It's really hard to overestimate them.
But once again, 4 over in qualifying was 10-19 rated.
Yeah.
4 over. That is wild.
That's wild.
We'll see what happens. Coverage begins Friday morning for FPO. Before we get to our picks for this weekend, Josh, it's time for 30-second rule.
Yeah. Got a couple of things.
Let me just say, 30-second rule, for those of you that don't know, we're covering a variety of topics in 30 seconds or less, and if we go over, it doesn't matter. We'll just use a time extension, and if we go over that, then no one's going to call it anyway. Go ahead, Josh.
Thanks. First up, Disc Golf Pro Tour has made an announcement that they have a multi-year distribution partnership with the All Women's Sports Network. This is a network that is dedicated exclusively to women's sports. It's available in a lot of different streaming services and included free with things like your Amazon Prime, Pluto TV, DirecTV, Sling, Vizio. And then there are international partners as well that are distributed in more than 60 countries. And so last year was the first year of the partnership, and they now have a multi-year partnership and will be broadcasting, looks like 9 tournaments all live on the All Women's Sports Network, which I guess I thought that it was going to be post-produced, but no, they're going to be distributing it live on the network.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, the Disc Golf Pro Tour has made so many positive changes towards covering FPO over the last 5 to 10 years. I mean, I think always since the start of the Pro Tour itself with Steve Dodge, like there's been an effort to have FPO on like similar footing to MPO. They used to cut the FPO show kind of like in the middle of the MPO broadcast to try to have like one unified broadcast. That was really awkward.
Yeah.
And they changed that and they switched to split shows. And like it is genuinely, if you're an FPO fan, the experience is identical to being an MPO fan. And that's really cool. And that's not necessarily particularly common in pro sports. And so shout out to the Pro Tour for making a deal here. Obviously, women's sports having a huge moment over the last couple of years. I don't really know much about this particular network, but, you might find some new fans through this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and I think it's one of those things that like you're on Amazon or you're somebody who maybe is familiar with this and you see disc golf pop up, and you're like, oh, I've never seen this before, and they end up clicking on it, watching it, and it's great. I mean, it's so if you are an FPO fan and don't have a Disc Golf Network subscription, you can catch 9 FPO tournaments over with your Amazon Prime subscription instead. So there's a little hack for you if you're looking for it. But super cool announcement. Fandom Survey is back with the newest article, the 2025 disc golf purchasing trends, which I think is one of the most popular of the series. I think people are really interested in seeing what it is being purchased. Innova is still the top brand for, and so people answered, which of these manufacturers' discs do you carry? It's not how many of them or whatnot, or is it the most? But just overall, do you have an Innova disc in your bag? 75% of respondents said yes, that is still the highest. Discraft is in second with 68%, and then MVP is at 60%. Axiom is 47%. This is one where it's like, it doesn't feel like a true, like you could combine the, like, I bet most people who have an MVP disc also have an Axiom disc. There may be some group that only carry like one particular Axiom disc and that's it. But
I think it would be, let's see, did they say how many respondents bag at least one MVP or Axiom? This is answered in the comments.
Okay.
The answer is 67.8%, which puts them, that combo, just behind Discraft.
Okay.
So we go Innova, Discraft, and then the combo MVP Axiom.
The only disc that I can think of that like people would carry an Axiom but not an MVP, probably the Crave. I bet that 7% bump are 7% of people who carry a Crave but nothing else from MVP.
And notably, Streamline also has 17.9%. So I think if you comboed all three, you're probably looking at them sitting just above Discraft.
Possibly. Maybe 2% of those Streamline players don't carry anything else.
I think it is crazy to think about how far this brand / group of brands has come. I mean, they are by far the fastest growing, and they have clearly become at this point not a up and comer, not a among the biggest. Like they are right there now with Innova and Discraft. Now, I don't know about the actual sales numbers. That's going to depend on things like where you have distribution and whatnot.
Sure.
But within the disc golf universe of people who care and like pay attention to the game, maybe watch the pro game, which of course this survey is skewed heavily towards people who watch the pro game. It is arguably the biggest brand.
Here's some other interesting facts. If you go to which of the manufacturers' discs have you purchased in the last year, when you combine MVP and Axiom, they take the lead with 66%. Two and three disc golfers have purchased an MVP or Axiom disc in the past year. Innova in second place with 63%.
I wonder, like, again, if you're comboing with Streamline too. I mean, not that it matters in this case. It's still going to be number one.
Right. The other one that I thought was interesting, this is a little bit less about brands, but something that is valuable, I think. Which of the following contributed to why you are buying more discs than last year? So this is for those people who did answer that they are buying more discs than they did in 2024. The number one response, I've been playing more disc golf than I was last year at 57%, which I think is a really healthy sign.
Well, I don't want to throw cold water on you, Josh.
Oh, no.
If you look at the total respondents to why you're buying more, 748 respondents.
Yep.
If you look at the total respondents to why are you buying fewer, 1,900 respondents.
Okay. That's not the cold water I care about, though, Charlie. You're right that people are still buying fewer. I'm not talking about the state of disc purchasing. I'm not of the opinion here that like more people are buying that in 2025 than they did in 24. I'm saying for those who did, the fact that the number one response by more than half of those 900 respondents or 748 respondents is I am playing more disc golf in 2025 than I did in 2024, I think is a good sign. Only 22% of those who are purchasing less discs are playing less disc golf than they were. By raw numbers, there still is. It's very close, but it's like the professional, the economy of the game will eventually sort itself out as long as people are still throwing frisbees.
Great point. I will also highlight that they asked, which of the following players have you purchased a tour, signature, or commemorative disc from in the past year? Simon, way out in front at number 1. Then Kristen, Paul Macbeth, Calvin Heimberg, Eagle McMahon, Silva Sarnan, Anthony Barella, Paige Pierce, James Conrad, Gannon Burr, and Ricky Wysocki is the last at 10% plus. You obviously will notice lots of MVP, lots of Discraft. Those two brands have done the best at this, and you're seeing that reflected in the results.
Yep.
Besides that, you have Kristen, which she kind of stands alone in terms of her presence. I'm obviously her number will fall this year, and then Calvin,
and Gannon,
Yep.
Yeah. Those are your 3.
Crazy. Okay. Time extension, by the way.
Time extension.
Continue, Josh.
I'm going to call a timeout to just preemptively on this last 30-second rule. We have a slew of A tiers that we got to get through from this past weekend.
We get 30 seconds per A tier. It's all good.
Oh, okay, great. Then we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be just fine. A couple of these will hit a little bit quicker, a little bit less of presence. Some of these though had a lot of pros that you're gonna recognize. So here we go. San Angelo, Texas, the 24th annual Crush on the Concho, supported by Innova. Freddie Meza wins by a stroke over GT Hancock. Sarah Duran wins in FPO over Emma Kitchen, going to a playoff.
Okay.
33rd Annual City of Mobile Championships presented by Saraland Pharmacy.
Thank you, Josh.
You're welcome. Evan
The
Scott.
sponsors, thank you too.
Evan Scott beats out a log jam of players who are 3 strokes behind him, going 30 under. And Cadence Burge beats out Catch Merch, Hannah Wynn, Ida Emily Ness, in order to take the win. Alabama native.
Now,
Cadence
we
Burge.
love to see that as a Cadence Burge fantasy owner.
That's right.
We love to see that.
That's right. Jumping over, then we have the 37th annual Earlwood Classic presented by Innova Disc Golf in Columbia, South Carolina. Braden Sides beats out Paul Ulibarri. Scores that you're not going to see this weekend: 43 under to 40 under. Guess what? And this one, it looks like I don't think we had FPO, but we had FP40 with 1 entry. Sasha Smith, congratulations.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, no FPO I'm seeing over here in that event. Discraft presents Throw Down the Mountain weekend 1. This is at Olympus. Yes.
Yep.
Different layout, but at Olympus, scores are a little reflective of an easier layout. Eagle McMahon and Joel Freeman go to a playoff. And according to Superflash, who made a Reddit post that had good commentary. If you want to hear a little bit more about like what actually happened on the ground, you can go check out this Reddit post and talking about these A tiers. Apparently here comes down to like hole 18. Joel, it says, I'll read, this is great. That devious hole 18 caught Joel, ironically, with an Eagle resistor that allowed Eagle to tie it up. I wonder if in the post interview, Eagle's like, he's not winning with my discs. They finished in near complete darkness at a tie, and they couldn't do a playoff. Because they both wanted to get moving to New Orleans, they decided not to do a playoff the next day and go to a putt-off, which Eagle won in order to claim the trophy, but officially co-winners of the event.
Okay.
So, some excitement over there, both at 30 under par. Owen Doggins.
I think Eagle shot a 1095 round 1.
That is correct. Yeah. Smoking hot round. Owen Doggins crushes the field. Jordan Lynn's in second place, was 12 strokes back from Owen Doggins. So,
dude, what if Owen goes back to back to start the season?
I mean, she's got a lot of wins already if you include her A tiers of the season. So she's looking great. We then go to the Palisade Awakening 2026, brought to you by Outback Steakhouse.
A place for a championship dinner.
That's they're tired. They're tired of hearing all the Texas Roadhouse celebration dinners, and they're like, we need to start sponsoring some events. Anyway, Outback Steakhouse over here sponsoring an A-tier out in Colorado. Connor Rock gets the win over Joe Revere by 3 strokes. Margaret Patterson beats Amanda Stanley, in FPO. Lastly, we have. Can't take him seriously, Charlie. The Georgia State Championships, presented by Dirty South Discs, powered by Prodigy. This is our last A tier. Harper Thompson, Mason Ford, Evan Walker, 3-way playoff for the Georgia State Championships. Shoots a 1060. Evan Walker shoots a 1064 opening round. And so has the big first round, ends up being the 3-way tie going to the playoff. Harper Thompson wins it in the playoff. Over in FPO, Valerie Mondahano again crushes the field. 11 under par. Second place was Nina Bennett at 1 over. Alexis Mondahano and Kona Star Montgomery were both at 5 over.
All right. Well, a big A-tier weekend for sure.
Yeah.
Is that it for 30-second rule, Josh?
I think that's it for 30-second rule.
All righty. That means it's time for picks. Big Easy Open. And we are rolling out a new picks website for subscribers. So remember, join us. You can get into our Discord community, hang out with fellow Upshot fans, and watch live disc golf together. It is such a great place to join up. And of course, you get all of our subscriber bonus segments, including our Rapid Reacts, which we will have on Sunday following the Big Easy Open. And so remember, you also can save 20% right now with code Big Easy at checkout. So get yourself an annual subscription, save 20% on it, lock in for the year, and get ready for our Rapid Reacts following the Big Easy Open. This is probably the last promotion we're going to run for a while on a subscription. So now is the time. Code Big Easy. It expires on Sunday. Josh, picks time.
Picks time.
We obviously have a brand new course. Hard to really map what to expect. But I will let you jump in and make your first set of picks.
Bust out the chalk, ladies and gents, because when you don't know the course, the cream rises to the top, or at least that's the safest way to go. So here you go. Here's some picks for you, Charlie. First off, I was doubting a little bit because I was kind of dismissing the scramble opportunity. I still think that's correct. I don't think scrambling is what's going to elevate a player. However, there's a different skill set that I think puts Ricky in my picks here. When Silas said you need lots of power and great circle 2 putting, that also screams Ricky. It's not going to be a scramble that lets him get birdies this weekend. A lot of players are going to be able to avoid those pars because there's so much real estate on the fairways in that John Howe very special design style. But I do think Ricky has the other sets of skills that are going to get birdies that are going to be few and far between. Very good chance Ricky goes back-to-back to open the season. So I've got Ricky in my picks. I'm going to take Gannon just because that discussion with Silas just really confirms Gannon's the best in the world, and right now on a course this hard, that's probably what you want. But here's my last pick, and this is the one I'm excited about. I'm picking Calvin Heimberg. Nothing earth-shaking, but let me tell you why, Charlie. Do you remember, it's 3 years ago, Jonesboro, hole 18. It's Calvin and I think Paul and Eagle, but I'm not even sure about that. Calvin steps up, 100% power, through the trees in the most gorgeously shaped drive I've ever seen in my entire life. I think about that drive every time I think about Calvin playing disc golf. And if you want to talk about full power shot shaping through the woods, I don't think there's anybody better at it than Calvin. True golf power. Calvin could very much win this weekend if that's the skill that we're looking at, if his putter gets hot.
Yeah, gosh. It's hard to know where to go here. I'm following a similar line and I have some similar picks, a lot of crossover here. I'm also going to take Ricky.
Yep.
coming off a great showing. I think he clearly understands how to break down a course. His practice rounds are some of my favorites to watch. I can't not take Gannon here, just with the like level of length of the course and circle 2 putting required. I don't know how you don't pick him.
Yeah.
I really just don't know how you don't pick him. You have to pick him. And then I've got AB.
Mm-hmm.
I've got AB. Just like, this is straight.
I think that guy has power.
He can power up on an Anheuser and put himself into birdie positions where other players can't. And I think that that's going to come into play on just enough holes that it makes the difference. Like, this is a course where having that extra bit of ultra power could be the difference between birdies and not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you're somebody who's like more at tour average with power this week, I think you're going to have a really hard time scoring. All right, on to FPO. Ugh, I have no clue.
On a course that we have not seen at all for the FPO.
I'm going to start with Holland Handley.
Okay.
I just think power and putting,
Yep.
It's not, I don't need to go crazy here. I don't know how right now you don't pick Own.
You have to.
Again, like, the FPO is going to play really different than MPO, I think. I think it's going to play more like a normal FPO course as opposed to like some ultra hard, crazy,
distance or
brand new course feel, right? So I think I think you just have to pick Own. Like, she's locked in right now. Look what she did this weekend.
Yep.
Third spot. I'm not going to take Taylor Chosek. Like, that's going to be a pick this week that people want to make, and I am not going to make that pick.
Okay, good call.
I just think that like that's the fool's gold pick. Like, who's going to manage the woods really well? I just don't know. You know what? I'm going to take Cadence Burge. I'm going to roll with the fact that she just had a great performance.
Okay.
She's a great putter. And little momentum coming into the week.
Yeah. All right. Love it. Well, let me make the first part easy. Holland Handley owns Goggins. Excuse me, own Doggins. My bad. I misspoke. Same picks. Same reasons. Owns hot right now and playing great. And then I'm picking someone with just the diverse skill set of Holland. I'm going to take Missy Gannon. Missy Gannon has had a lot of success at Ledgestone and played in Northwoods. That's what I got for you. I maybe the lack of a good payout isn't going to help here, but that to me is the closest thing that I'm thinking of right now when I'm thinking of courses. Not having seen the FPO layout, and so that, like, Missy's played well there. Missy's played well at MVP of Maple Hill, so I'm hoping that I get some comps somewhere in there. And I'm gonna go with Missy, but I think one person that we might be missing on might be Paige Pierce, who has played well at WR Jackson, and so I could see Paige. It's hard to. Yeah,
I wish I had a feel for like a comp here, but I just don't.
I don't either.
I simply don't. I'm really curious to see how it plays out this weekend. Yep. And good luck with picks, everybody. It's really hard with a brand new course.
Yeah.
We're definitely playing it pretty safe, which is probably smart. It's usually smart. All right, Josh, let's lock in for the Big Easy Open. It all starts Friday morning on the Disc Golf Network. Remember, you can watch the first round for free with a Disc Golf Network free subscription. And then they're doing an hour free every round on YouTube. So you could get a chance to see what you think if you haven't committed to a DGN sub yet this season. And, check out the beginning of each round.
If you watch it and you're like, man, this looks terrible, maybe try again in a couple weeks. Hornet's Nest is a great watch. We'll see.
It could be really interesting. I mean, if scores compress and we have a lot of people like kind of in the same score window, we could have a wild final day.
We could.
Right?
We could. Yes.
Even if the scoring is not we're not going to see 10 downs, but if you've got 5 guys within a stroke of the lead going into Sunday, like that's going to be exciting.
You're absolutely
And there's going
right.
to be opportunities to make some crazy shots. It's just like, do you want to risk finding the pond or the road?
Yeah. Going to be interesting to see, that's for sure.
All right. So that is going to do it for today's show and our only show this week. We'll be back with our Rapid React Sunday night for subscribers in the Discord live. And then we will join you again next week as we move on into the Queen City Classic is the next one on the calendar. So that's going to be a lot of fun at Hornets Nest. And the Europeans will mostly join us at Queen City Classic. So we'll have full fields for the first time this season. All right, that's going to do it for our show. For Josh Mansfield, I'm Charlie Eisenhood saying so long. See you at the Big Easy Open, everybody.